Hi all, today we are going to see the calibration of DC ammeter, voltmeter and wattmeter followed by some numericals on DC potentiometer topics discussed till now. So first let us start with the calibration of the ammeter. So in order to calibrate the ammeter, let us assume this is my DC ammeter which you want to do the calibration. Some PMMC's type of permanent magnet moving coil type of ammeter we want to do the calibration. So for that what we will do, we need a stabilized DC supply, because stabilized supply is required because while doing the measurement, if this supply is fluctuating, that creates a problem in the calibration because that leads to error in the calibration curve. So that's why this value of the DC supply should remain constant throughout the test. It should not fluctuate. And next one, there will be two rheostat. One rheostat will be used for fine adjustments and the second rheostat will be used for coarse adjustment, and by adjusting these rheostats we can adjust the value of the current that is passing through your ammeter. So always we will adjust in such a way that whatever is the ammeter is there, like you are taking this ammeter, let us take for example, the readings will be there, in between there will be some big reading. So it will be like this. Let us assume this ammeter is having 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that amperes. Let us take for example. So we will adjust these things and shift it to some major scale. That means at 1 we will look at. So then we will measure the voltage drop across the known value of the resistance. Let us assume S is the known value of the resistance. We use the voltage drop across this known resistance using the potentiometer. So actual value of the current will be equal to voltage drop across this known value of the resistance divided by value of the resistance. So that is my actual value, and this ammeter is showing some reading. So if both the readings are matching, it is well. If both the readings are not matching, that means some error is introduced. So we plot the error calibration curve of the ammeter based on the difference or the error between the true value and the measured value. This is the most accurate method for calibration of the ammeters, which is always used in practice. So let us now see the calibration of voltmeter. So for the calibration of the voltmeter, again same thing, the stabilized DC supply is used so that no disturbance will be there in between, and two rheostat is used. One is used for fine adjustment of the value and second one is used for coarse adjustment of the value, and this is the voltmeter under test which needs to be calibrated. So this indicates the measured value. So what we will do, we will adjust the value of this fine adjustment and the coarse adjustment in such a way that the reading will show the some bigger scale reading, like 1 volt, 2 volt, whatever is the scale. That major division we will keep it at that location. So now using the voltage ratio box, we will step down the voltage to the required value of the potentiometer and we will measure the value using the potentiometer. So let us assume the value that is measured by the potentiometer, let us assume this I am keeping as potentiometer is Vp, and some K is the multiplication factor. So the actual value of the voltage will be equal to Vp multiplied by K, where K is the multiplication factor of ratio box. So why this multiplication factor? What are these things? We have already discussed in our previous lecture. So using this we get the unknown value, whatever is the voltage, we get the actual value of the voltage using potentiometer, and what is this voltmeter reading that is showing, that indicates the reading. If both are matching, error is equal to 0. If both are not matching, that means there is an error. That error can be either positive or negative. So accordingly the error calibration curve will be drawn. Accordingly we make the decision for making the adjustment in the value. That means either you can change the scale reading of the voltmeter or take the precautions, or no, because of what reason the error is coming, accordingly you can rectify the problem. So these things are already discussed in the error analysis topic, so that's why I am not going into detail now. So let us now go for calibration of the wattmeter. So for calibrating the wattmeter of lower power rating, generally we go for the direct loading method. So further, this is my supply. So this supply will be connected to a variable load. So now when the load is varied, so automatically the current drawn by the load will continuously change. So wattmeter is connected across this load. So this is my current coil and this is my potential coil or voltage coil of your wattmeter under test. So in order to measure the current passing through this wattmeter, so what we can do, we can insert one standard resistor. Voltage drop across the standard resistor is measured using the potentiometer. Similarly, in order to measure the voltage across your load, we connect one volt ratio box. So using that, we can connect to the potentiometer and measure the value of the voltage. So now the voltage is measured and the current is measured. So this voltage multiplied by the current, that gives your actual value of the power, and whatever the reading your wattmeter is indicating, that is the measured value. So whatever is the difference between these two, again error calibration curve will be done. But there is a major disadvantage of this one. So in order to supply this wattmeter, let us assume this wattmeter is having some 1000 watts rating. That means your load should vary from 0 to 1000 watts. So 1000 watts loading or load you are applying, that means physically this load is consuming the power from your supply. When the rating is less, it can be easily supplied in the laboratory also. Let us assume your wattmeter rating is 100 kilowatt or 1000 kilowatt. So when it is of very high value, in that case there will be huge power loss in the load if you are physically loading it. And the second one, supplying that much huge value of the load may not be practical in practice. Let us assume this wattmeter is used for measuring the power of some transmission line, very big size. So it will be like 1 megawatt or very big value it should measure. That much loading we cannot do in practice. Even if it is of moderate rating also, huge power loss will be there in the load or huge power consumption will be there in the load. That's why we practically go for the phantom loading. Phantom loading means it is virtual loading, because whenever the load is increased, what is changing here? The current is changing, voltage is not changing. Agree with me? So that's why instead of supplying to the load, we supply this current coil by some extra virtual separate DC voltage supply. So for this, what we will do, low voltage supply is used for supplying the required current through the current coil, and the same current will be measured by the potentiometer by measuring voltage drop across the standard resistor. And this, the coarse adjustment or fine adjustment can be done by this rheostat circuit. Getting it? So now coming to the pressure coil. So pressure coil is connected to your actual supply. That means high voltage supply or your rated voltage is applied across your pressure coil, and that voltage, because that will be measured by using the voltage ratio box and the potentiometer. So now potentiometer measures the value of the current and it measures the value of the voltage. How the current is measured? Vs divided by S, that gives the current, and this Vp multiplied by the multiplication factor of the voltage ratio box gives your voltage. So voltage multiplied by current is your actual power. The same thing is indicated here, and whatever power is indicated by the wattmeter, that is a reading of the wattmeter. Again the calibration curve will be plotted. The advantage of this one is, you can see here this low voltage supply. This low voltage supply is supplying only the current coil of the wattmeter, because generally the current coil of wattmeter resistance is negligible, very less, and the power is only consumed by the standard resistor and this rheostat, which generally consume very less value of the power because their resistance will be very less. We are going for low voltage supply only. So that's why the power loss will be minimum in this method. And here coming to the potential coil, it is supplied through the high voltage source. So practically the resistance of the pressure coil or the potential coil is very high. So that's why the power consumed by this is very less. So that's why the overall power consumed, you following this method, phantom loading method, will be minimum. That's why only this is used in practice. So let us take one example to understand the complete concept of DC potentiometers discussed till now. One numerical, I am covering all the topics. So if balance is obtained at a length of 50 centimeters while standardizing with a cell of 1.0186 volts. It is mentioned there, for measuring the voltage of 1.0186 volt standard cell, the balance is obtained at 50 centimeters of the potentiometer. Getting it? So now it is asked voltage of the unknown source which balances at 70 centimeter. If for this known value of the voltage it is balancing at 50 centimeters, what will be the value of the voltage if it balances at 70 centimeters? We can easily calculate from this. And then the current flowing through a standard resistance of 2 ohms if it balances at 70 centimeters. That means when you are measuring the voltage across 2 ohms resistor, it balances at 70 centimeters. What is the value of the actual current? That is asked. Then voltage of the supply main, which is reduced by using a voltage ratio box to 1/100, and balance is obtained at 80 centimeters. I want to measure the high value of the voltage. So for that what we do, we go for the voltage ratio box. We have already discussed measurement of high voltage. So the balance is obtained at 80 centimeters, and that multiplication factor, because it is divided by 100, that means multiplication factor will be whatever is measured by your potentiometer, you have to multiply with 100. So let us see the details. So let me complete the question. Then it is asked the percentage error in the voltmeter reading. So voltmeter is showing the reading of 1.5 volts, and the balance is obtained for the potentiometer at 80 centimeters. So based on this 80 centimeters, we can calculate the actual voltage. This is my measured value of the voltage. We can calculate the percentage error easily. So similar is the case. Percentage error in the ammeter reading of 0.41 amperes when balance is obtained at 50 centimeters with the potential difference across 2.5 ohm resistor connected in series with the ammeter. That means the voltage is measured across 2.5 ohm resistor connected in series with the ammeter, and balance is obtained at 50 centimeters. So let us see them one by one. So first I am starting with the EMF of standard cell is 1.0186 and balance is obtained at 50 centimeters. So from this we can calculate voltage drop per centimeter of the balancing dial or that of the potentiometer, that will be equal to 1.0186. It is obtained at 50 centimeters. So it indicates 1.0186 divided by 50, that is 0.020372 volts per centimeter. That is the voltage drop per centimeter in the dial of the potentiometer or the resistor of the potentiometer. So then voltage of the source, if it is balanced at 70 centimeters, will be equal to 70 centimeters multiplied by voltage per centimeter. So when you are multiplying it, you will get it as 1.42604 volts. So then part P, it is asked that the balance is obtained at 70 centimeters across 2 ohms resistor. So 70 centimeters balance is obtained means the total voltage drop will be 70 multiplied by voltage drop per centimeter is this much. So that divided by resistance will give your current. So this is my actual value of the current. So for part C, it is asked that balance is obtained at 80 centimeters and the multiplication factor is given, it is equal to 100. So actual supply voltage will be equal to this multiplication factor multiplied by voltage measured by the potentiometer. Voltage measured by potentiometer will be voltage per centimeter multiplied by centimeter. So this will be 100 multiplied by 0.020372 multiplied by 80. So this will be equal to 162.976 volts. In this way you have to measure. Now coming to calibration of the voltmeter, it is mentioned that the voltmeter reading is 1.5 volts and balance is obtained at 80 centimeters. So actual value of voltage will be equal to 80 centimeters multiplied by voltage per centimeter. So this will be equal to 1.62976. So percentage error will be measured value minus actual value by actual value into 100. This we have already seen in the error analysis. So that will be equal to, when you are substituting, you will get it as minus 7.962 percentage because measured value is less than the actual value. So now coming to the ammeter, it is mentioned ammeter is showing a reading of 0.41 amperes and the balance is obtained at 50 centimeters across 2.5 ohm resistor. So current will be equal to voltage drop across this resistor divided by value of the resistance. So it is balance is obtained at 50. So 50 multiplied by voltage drop per unit length or per centimeter is 0.020372 divided by 2.5. This will be 0.40744. So percentage error will be again measured value minus actual value by actual value into 100. So you will get it as a 0.628 percentage. Error is positive because measured value is greater than the actual value. So in this way you have to make the calculations for the DC potentiometer. I hope DC potentiometers are completely clear to you. So next class we are going to start AC potentiometers. So if you still have any queries related to DC potentiometers, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. I will answer to your queries from there. Thank you very much.